Hello, I'm Caroline Flint. I'm a retired midwife. I've been a midwife for 37 years. I've also been an NCT teacher for 47 years. And I have worked in the NHS. I've worked as an independent midwife. I've lectured all over the world. And I've written 6 books. I'm talking about continuity of carer. All women are to know their midwife throughout pregnancy, labour and the puerperium by 2020, which is a daunting thought because it's a complete change in culture. But I cannot tell you how exciting it is. I cannot tell you what a wonderful opportunity it is for both midwives and of course for women as well. You're a professional woman or man as a midwife, and I expect you would like to feel happy, respected, fulfilled, and that you make a difference, which of course you do. You make an enormous difference. However, according to the Royal College of Midwives, most midwives do not feel like that. 62% of midwives say that they cannot do a pee during their shift because they're too busy. Most midwives feel incredibly tired after 12.5-hour shifts, and they often feel so tired that they cry while they're on duty. That's appalling. This is the best job in the world. 50% of midwives are worried about making a mistake because they are so exhausted. More than 1 in 6 of you work more than 5 hours unpaid overtime every week. And also, we have a huge number of midwives who leave very soon after qualifying. Think of all that hard work, think of all that studying and that expense to just give up the job after 2 years. And over a third of midwives would not recommend midwifery as a career. That's tragic. Tragic. It is such a lovely thing to do. You make such a difference to people's lives, and they make such a difference to your life because, let's face it, midwifery is all about relationships, and this way of working, continuity of carer, is all about relationships. And don't forget, you don't all have to do continuity of carer. There's going to need to be a skeleton staff in the delivery suite, in the antenatal clinic, in the postnatal ward. So if you cannot contemplate being on call, that's fine. We still need you. You are still needed and treasured. So before we take on continuity of carer, we need to improve our social lives. We need to improve our lives generally. Make a list of what you like doing. I like reading. I like listening to music. What do you like doing? Make a list and then increase it. Make sure you do it more often. We need to zip up your whole life because to be on call, you need a very good social life and you need to be really quite resilient. The reason is that when you're on call, if you've only got one exciting thing you're doing in the month, that will be the day you're called. But if you've got 20 other things you're doing, it doesn't really matter. People are really frightened at the concept of being on call. You're always on call for your children, for your parents, for your partner, for your friends. We expect people to call us if they need us to help them. And that doesn't feel like a huge burden. I'm not sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, do you think my husband might call any moment to say he's fallen over? Which is true, he could have done. He is 90. So when you're doing continuity of carer, you're only on call for 4 women a month. And they're not 4 strangers. They're 4 women you know and actually you love, and they love you. You'll be called 4 times a month, probably twice during the day and twice during the night. So is that onerous? No, it's not that onerous. And because it's people you know where they live, you know about them, you know their history, you know their partner, you know everything. It isn't that difficult. In fact, it's very, very pleasant. One of the problems with continuity of carer is because midwives are so committed and are so keen and hard working, you can end up working all the time. On Monday morning you can have an antenatal visit, on Monday afternoon you can have a postnatal visit. You can actually fill your whole week with different visits. You need to bunch your visits. You need to get your diary, put in the date and time when you're going to have your weekly meetings. That's sacrosanct. So you put that in when you're going to have your weekly meetings, and then it's useful to highlight 3 days, because then you're likely to get 2. One of them will be interrupted. On your days off, obviously you'll still be on call, but the likelihood of you being called is quite small. Each little group of 4 midwives needs to take on an obstetrician. Choose the obstetrician you like best, whose practice you really respect. And so any woman who's having a problem, you go and confer with him or her as your obstetrician. This means that the women you take on, it's irrelevant whether they're high risk or low risk. This will come clear as time goes by, because some women who are low risk end up as high risk, and some women who appear to start off high risk when they start are perfectly low risk. So just work with one obstetrician. So each midwife chooses the holiday rota she'd like, and you need all 4 of you to have a different holiday rota, which means that every month there's one midwife from the group on holiday. Each midwife needs to take on 1 woman a week, 4 women a month, and she needs to take on women who are due when the scheme is going to start. But gradually you will build up a caseload, and you should be released from your present duties to see them. Be aware that when you're actually booking a woman, you're going to be seeing her for month after month after month. So it doesn't have to be done in a rush. It can take several months to do. Really important that midwives have complete control of their diaries, and really important that midwives are not pulled into any busy areas of the hospital. They are working properly, they're working full time, they're taking on 36 women a year for antenatally, postnatally and for labour. They should not be expected to do anything else. Well, to wrap up, firstly, keep it simple. Keep it as simple as possible. Keep it to 4 midwives working together, because being on call for your own 4 women is not stressful. It's perfectly manageable. Enjoy the relationship you have with each other. Meet every week and enjoy your life, because you are so important to women. And once you've worked this way, you actually can never go back to working any other way.